It was definitely very hectic. So kind of the end of 2020, I was working in a hospital that was all walk-in. So they didn't really do appointments. And I apparently thought at that time it was a good idea to go back to school also, like stack that on top of everything. And it's self-paced. So I'm doing Ashworth for my LBT. And I was like, oh, I can do it. My OCD will have me stay on pace and I'll do it in 3 years. I can do the 2-year program in 3 years. I got this. I've been in the vet field for, at that time, it had been 15 years. So I'm like, I know a lot of it. I feel like I can do it pretty fast. No, not at all. It literally, I started December of 2020 and I didn't finish my first semester until March of this year. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't stay on schedule. I felt like I was good at scheduling things. Apparently I'm really good at scheduling a hospital, but I'm not good at scheduling myself. And so it was really bad. And when I had to do my clinicals on top of my work and my schoolwork, my kids' stuff, my house stuff, I couldn't do it. And it just drug out on top of it. And it got really bad. So that was a mess. Like it just took forever. I think probably the stacking
Okay.
really helped me because I started my friend looked at me like I was crazy when I told her I was adding this on top of kind of finishing the end of my first semester and then starting my second semester. And I was like, nah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I got this. And I did. So I did that. And then I was able to go through, I finished my first semester. I finished this program, finished my first semester, passed my first semester exam, took a couple weeks off, went to the beach, come home, started my second semester and finished all of it. I was like, I'm going to have it done by December so that I could finish my clinicals before Christmas. And I literally have 2 videos left for my clinicals to be done. So like all of my hours are done. I just have those 2 videos done. And I'm like, I don't know that I could have done that if I hadn't have done your program and done the stacking. And, I was listening to my lectures, driving here, driving there. I've actually picked up, my sister has a pottery studio and I've been able to actually start doing a couple hours there on top of everything else also. So I've actually added more stuff to my schedule also. I still feel like I have free time. I have this whole afternoon off and like, where did that come from? Like I'm technically working 2 jobs. I'm in school. I have a kid and I have a Friday afternoon off. Like, how does that happen? Probably still in the middle of my second semester, like going crazy. I don't know that at one point I was even thinking about not staying in school because it had gotten so overwhelming. Like, I'll probably always stay in the vet field, 17 years in now. I don't see myself doing something else. But I even was talking to my managers and I'm like, y'all, I'm drowning. I've got too much on my plate. I can't do this. It's just too much. I can't do the clinical hours. I'm struggling. I was trying to do my clinicals at a different hospital, just trying to get over there and do this and do that. And she was like, well, maybe you should try something, find something that's going to help you figure it out. And, I ended up adding another course and, they all thought I was crazy and it ended up working. Like I do a Saturday a month at that hospital still. I just don't do my clinicals there. And it works. I never would have imagined. It's starting to roll over into my kids' life because we we have a new puppy. So he's like, oh, I can take him out when you're doing this, and then I'll have more time to do this. So he's kind of starting to see, how he gets extra time.
Cool. I love that.
It's definitely worth it, even not just from a vet standpoint. Like, it helps all around. It helps in all aspects, not just in veterinary medicine. I just kind of did it alone at night, just turning it on, listening to it, and then don't stall. Like, for me, it was listening to it and doing it immediately. Like, if I was like, oh, I can listen to it now and then pick it back up, or come back to it. No, because I would put it off. I would not get back to it. Because a friend of mine, I sent in my application, and then I think we talked about it a day or two later, and she sent in her application, and I'd be like, have you started yet? And she'd be like, no, not yet. Have you started yet? No, not yet. You're gonna forget. You're not gonna get it back around to it. I'd get the reminder on Sunday, and I'd be like, oh, I didn't do it yesterday. Like, I got to do it tonight, because that's just the thing. Like, don't put it off. But that's another thing. I don't think that the program was one of those kind of programs, like, where you sit down and you dread it because, like, it's going to put you to sleep. Like, you've seen those CEs where you're like halfway through it and you're like, oh my God, how much longer? So luckily it wasn't like those. So it didn't make it hard to watch, because I really like numbers and stuff. I did like the financial course, because I get really obsessive and I like to sit down and do my my own finances all the time. So I did like that one. But one that I did find interesting was like the suicide prevention course, because we had been talking about that a lot at my hospital, and it's one that I think needs a lot of attention, because I wanted to, like, get into that one. I did like the stacking because I feel like in the long run that's the one I benefited the most from. So probably those would be like my top three, if I had to choose.